It was just another Saturday morning, or at least that's what I thought. The sun was shining, and the soft hum of the house felt comforting as my wife grabbed her purse and casually said, "I'm going grocery shopping." Nothing out of the ordinary, right? She did it every week. We had our routine. I took care of the house. She handled the groceries. But that day, something inside me shifted. I didn't know what it was, but an unsettling feeling crept into my chest as if something was off. At first, I brushed it aside. Maybe I was just overthinking things. But then, as she kissed me goodbye, I noticed how quickly she hurried out the door. Her movements were almost too fast, like she couldn't wait to leave. Something was off, and I couldn't ignore it. I decided to follow her. Not out of suspicion at first, just curiosity. After all, what was there to hide? She had no reason to lie, right? I waited until she pulled out of the driveway and slipped into my car. I kept a safe distance, trying not to be noticed. She drove for about 15 minutes, which was longer than usual for a simple grocery run. The knots in my stomach began to tighten, but I kept telling myself it was nothing. And then she turned into a parking lot. But it wasn't a grocery store. No. It was a small, cozy cafe tucked away between two old buildings. I sat in the car, my mind racing. This wasn't right. She hadn't mentioned going to a cafe. I watched her get out of the car, her face lit up with a smile I hadn't seen in weeks. But then, she kissed someone. My breath caught in my throat. It was a soft kiss, but it was full of emotion, full of connection. They were close. Too close. Her hands brushed against his as they walked toward the cafe, their steps in sync. I couldn't breathe. The world seemed to collapse in on itself, each second stretching longer than the last. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront her right there, but my body was frozen in place. I watched as they disappeared inside. 1,000 thoughts swirled in my head. Had she been seeing him for weeks? Months? How could I not have noticed? How could I have been so blind? I waited. I knew I couldn't just sit there and pretend nothing was happening. I had to know. I had to confront her. So I stood up, and my legs felt like lead as I walked into the cafe. The door jingled as I pushed it open, and suddenly everything was eerily quiet. She looked up, her face going pale, her eyes wide with shock. The man beside her smirked like he knew exactly who I was. "Jane," she stammered, her voice shaky. I can explain." "Explain? How do you explain a kiss? How do you explain the way they looked at each other?" The chemistry between them was undeniable, and no words could take that back. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I simply walked away. There was nothing left to say. What could I say to a woman who had just shattered the trust I'd built my life on? As I left the cafe, I felt like I was walking through a fog. The weight of the truth pressed down on me, and the world felt different somehow, colder, more empty. Every step I took, I felt like I was leaving behind a part of myself, a part I could never get back. But as I drove home, a strange thing happened. Something inside me clicked. This betrayal, this pain, it didn't have to define me. I could walk away from this, from her, from the lies. The truth was harsh, but it also set me free. And that's when it hit me. Trust is fragile. It's easily broken, but it can also be rebuilt, this time, with the lessons learned, with a stronger foundation. I may have lost her, but I was starting to find myself again. So if you're sitting there, feeling that same emptiness, that same anger, I need you to hear me. You are stronger than you think. You don't have to let their betrayal destroy you. Sometimes the only way to move forward is to let go of the people who hurt you the most. If you've been through something like this, if you felt that sting of betrayal, leave a comment. I want to hear your story, because you're not alone in this. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because trust me, this isn't the last time I'll be sharing a story like this. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs, and the best thing we can do is be ready for them. I'll see you in the next one.